What's up, everybody? I'm going to talk to you about a special little thing called Selenium. Selenium is an open source automated testing framework that helps developers and QA teams automate user interaction with the browser. So now a QA team doesn't need to manually click through pages to make sure that user interaction is successful. It's also set up to work with every major browser. That way we can be sure our sites work the same way across all browsers. Selenium can run pretty much everywhere, so you can even host your UI tests in a cloud-based platform to run them with every front-end change to make sure there are no regressions. You can also test in parallel, which is super nice because you don't need to wait for one test to finish in order for the next to start. So imagine you have a form like this with lots of alignment and validation issues. This could have been easily prevented with some automated UI tests through Selenium. The Selenium architecture is like this. So you have your Selenium language bindings, which are basically like libraries. So it's it works with Java, Ruby, C#, Python, JavaScript. That's just different libraries you can download so it can integrate with your code in those languages. And then through JSON, you send a request through your browser driver, which it works on every major browser. That's Firefox, Chrome, Safari, Opera, Edge. And that browser is going to send an HTTP request over an HTTP server to the real browsers to mimic the actual user interactions. And then based on the results of those things and the information it grabs, it's going to send an HTTP response back to your browser drivers to give you information about it. And that's pretty much how it works. Alright, the most basic way for the code to identify which element of the UI you want to test is by their given ID, class, or name. Most things when you're making UI have these attributes to them, so that's the best way to say, like, oh, I want to make sure this box is red. I'm going to give it the ID of red box or something, I don't know. Okay, there are a few other ways to identify things, but I won't cover those. To use Selenium, we need to install Selenium, have an IDE, and install a browser driver. We also need to set up the environment for testing. So, assuming we're in a Maven project, we need to get the latest version of test.ng and incorporate it into the dependency section of our project's pom.xml file, which we should be familiar with by the end of this class. To test, you have 4 basic steps, or to write your tests. First, you need to create a new driver or initialize a new driver in your test file. Then you need to open the web page you want to test. And then steps 3 and 4, which you can do over and over and over again, are locate the element and then verify the behavior, look, or value that you want in that element. There's a lot more to know on different ways to locate elements and how to verify things, but that's the basics for now. Peace out.